Hey everybody, this is #nailed it. That was really lame, wasn't it? And I'm Tova, and here with me is
Mike.
just Mike. That was like the worst intro ever. I really need to practice this at home. Just practice.
All of it.
On the bus.
Yeah. Episode 6. Hello.
Well, we don't know what episode it is.
We've done. No. This is our 6th one we've done.
Oh, yes. Okay, episode 6.
This is the 6th one we've done.
It is episode
We do like
6.
seasons.
No, it's just never ending.
This could be like the last part of season 1. No. You could have a cliffhanger at the end.
It's never ending.
You know?
This is it. You've signed up for
ending,
life.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Poor people.
No, people are loving it. Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and coming back to sit here with us and talk with us. Well, listen to us talk, I guess. You're very tired, right?
Me? I'm not too bad.
No, not too bad.
I was more tired last week.
I feel like what we're going to talk about today is like so perfect, you know? Our topic for today is the kids killed our marriage. And I feel like it's really appropriate after the week we've had. Do you want to tell people what's happened?
All our kids go to the same local school, and on
Thursday.
But we were told the day before.
Yes. No, Thursday morning. It was like the first
Thursday
thing
morning,
we saw on our phones.
There's this really annoying kind of messaging system. So you get an email, then you get this thing on this app. Anyway, we were told on Thursday morning, school shut. But Burst Water Main, really sorry, it's shut.
Yes.
So anyway.
I mean, I don't know, like there's a lot of parents listening to this podcast. That is like the worst text you could possibly get.
Because you
at
have
7 o'clock
to
in the
rearrange
morning.
Everything.
Yeah, exactly. You're
It's
like, oh, sorry,
unbelievable.
school is shut for the day. Awful.
So we had Thursday. Then we were told during Thursday, ain't opening tomorrow.
Yep.
Friday. Then you got the weekend with the little shits. And then we were told on Friday, it's unlikely that it's going to be open Monday.
Yeah.
So we've had, what's that?
3.
Including the weekend, 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
And it's been hell.
Wait, I just want to point out to everybody that we do, in fact, love our kids. We just love them so much more when they're at school. You know?
Absolutely. No, it's but it's not just that of what to do with them and whatever. It's if you're both working, it's really difficult.
I know
you have to move things, cancel things, can't do this. And as anyone who kind of sometimes works from home, as you know, if you're trying to work from home with the kids, forget about it. You can't do it.
Totally.
You can't take certain calls. You can't. So it's been tough.
But the reason I said that I feel like it's really appropriate, this topic, is because the kids were home for 5 days, and it's 5 days that you didn't plan for, and everything that Mike said, not being able to, we had loads of things planned and, meetings, whatever. And they're climbing up the walls, right?
Yeah.
They were like, oh my God.
You got to do stuff with them.
You got to do stuff with them.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was so angry in the last few days. Like today, yesterday. So our kids go to like this thing on Sunday. It's a 4-hour, it's like a Sunday school. And I was like saying, well, at least they've got these 4 hours. 4 hours on Sunday. They're going 4 hours. And then I get a text message on Saturday evening saying, just to remind you.
Yeah, there's a ceremony that parents should attend.
That the parents need to attend for 2 hours on Sunday. And I had tears in my eyes. Tears in my eyes. I nearly started to cry. And I looked at Mike and I could tell that you knew that was it. I had reached my limit and I was about to break.
But the funny thing was I couldn't quite grasp it. So you were saying
I just started screaming.
we were going out. And I was like, oh, okay, wait. So I'm taking one of them there and then whatever. But then I can come back.
It.
No. You have to stay there.
But
Why
I just
do I have to
started
stay
screaming.
there?
I just went, do you not understand? We need to be there. We need to be there for 2 hours. And that's when Mike turned around to me and said, I'll go. And that was amazing. I sat at home for 4 hours, by the way, and just stared at the wall.
Did you?
I did nothing. I had plans to do, do stuff and go to pole dance, whatever. I was catatonic.
I was so tired because I was going to a gig that night. I was really looking forward to going, and I was just too tired to go, which was a real shame.
Okay, so you see, we've already touched on 2 things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how kids kill your marriage. Anybody relate?
I'm sure everyone
Anger.
Anger issues,
tiredness,
missing out on things you really want to do. But hey, we signed up for it. When as a friend of mine says, you can't moan about these things. You signed up to have kids,
Yeah.
This is what happens when you have kids.
Yeah, but don't you think
this is
that?
the pact.
Yes, but don't you think, right, that you only say that now because you're in it, right, and you know it. Do people really know that to begin with? Because I don't think like they don't. They do.
No.
You never think that. You think, oh, I'm gonna have a baby. He's gonna be so cute, and that's what you think, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the door's just
It's
open.
like
There
the
is
ghost.
a ghost in the
The
studio.
ghost of King's
the
Cross.
ghost is here.
Come on in, have a cup of tea. No, you
But
don't.
do you know what I mean?
You don't think. I mean, you know, I'm sure lots of people remember before they had kids. There's that kind of, you know, when you speak to people who got kids, oh, you know, wait till they're teenagers, or you'll be just like a taxi driver, and you sort of go, all right, well, you know, how else are they going to get around?
Yeah.
You're kind of used to those kind of things, but it's just that thing when you just have to accept. You can't, especially men, maybe there's more men, maybe it's just me. I can't multitask.
Yeah.
I can't look after kids and try and do some cheeky emails, make a phone call.
No, but I don't think
do other stuff.
No,
I
no,
can't.
you can't do that periodically. Not just you. Like I don't think if you can't. You know, you can't. That's the thing that I 100% know for sure. And both of us work from home, but it applies for anything. You kind of like if you're doing something with them, you kind of like have to just do it and not think that you can do it and then do a million other things.
Yeah, because that's when you do get annoyed.
Everybody suffers. Yeah, you get
know.
really angry for sure. No,
Yeah.
and not just you. I don't mean you. Like I just
No, I
mean
know.
it in general. But I do think that people don't tell you all the truth, and especially when it comes to relationships, because I feel like if they did, potentially nobody would have children. So,
But it's the noise
you know,
levels as well.
The noise, yeah.
It's, you know, I don't mind them. You know, this afternoon they were good. They were looking at old photos, doing stuff. I was like, this is fine. Then you can sort of do stuff, but it's just the noise. And
Yes.
you said it's that pent up energy.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's an age thing. Maybe kids, I don't know. People can tell us.
We
Maybe
have
kids
very
with certain
loud
age-
children, though. I mean, specifically, our children
do.
are very, very loud.
They are very loud.
They're very, very loud, you know?
Yeah.
Very loud. They are. I honestly feel like I walk around with a constant in my head, shh, shh, you know, just like that.
I know. And it's on Thursday. I went to the, was it Thursday? I took him to the soft play?
Yeah.
So I took him to the soft play. But now I've kind of nailed it. I've got these sort of noise cancelling headphones. And that's the best thing. So not only they're off on their sort of apparatus doing stuff, that general noise you
Yeah.
get in those places.
I know.
You can literally just zone out.
I know. I did the soft play today. Okay, so now that we've put everybody off having children forever, let's talk though more about relationships, because that's really the sort of the, you know, what I wanted to talk about, right? How relationships change, you know, after you have kids, a marriage specifically, but actually any type of partnership that involves children. Do you want to start?
Well, I mean, obviously, we've already sort of touched upon it. Obviously, priorities change.
Yes.
Things that you used to do as a couple before children, go. It's
Yeah.
gone. Don't
Yeah.
even think about it. It's gone.
Yeah.
That may be hobbies, activities you had, the weekends, you might do whatever. All gone. You know, I think, especially when they're young kids, you can't do those things. You know, unless you're very lucky to, you know, be wealthy. Have family around you that
Yeah,
can
and help.
take up the slack and help. But
Yeah.
I think that's quite rare now.
Yeah.
The old days
Yeah,
of
yeah, it's
people in
true.
countries with big extended families
Yeah.
taking over are gone. You invariably have to get childcare, and it costs money.
Yeah.
And then you start going, well, I used to do that every Sunday morning. But now I do that. I've got to read the sort of the money for childcare, and it just go. Well, what's the point?
Sorry, I'm just laughing.
simple things like going to the cinema.
I'm just
Going to the
laughing.
I know the cinema's got more expensive anyway, but now when you factor in, I'm paying X to the cinema, whatever. But now I've got to lay out, add another 40, 50 quid,
Yeah.
and then when you go out to the cinema, you're out. So let's go and eat. I don't want to just go home after an hour and a half. So what is a simple trip to the cinema?
Yeah,
Sort of
costs you a
become like a sort of 150 quid outing to go and see some shit film that you probably don't want to go and see in the first place, but anything to get away from them.
Yeah.
So it's sort of just those things change.
Yeah,
you know?
totally. No, I was laughing because I just remembered how, I mean, I always say, like, the people ask me a lot, like, what's your number one advice, you know, for new parents or new moms or whatever? And I always say, get help. Like, get help, help,
you
help.
can, absolutely.
And no, and what made me laugh when you were talking about cost, because obviously it's like, it's expensive if you don't have family and you're talking about, paid help. But made me laugh how you had to sell all your lovely collection.
I did.
To basically
Very sad
afford
days.
having help.
Well, that was slightly different because obviously
Yes.
we had twins, and
Yes.
anyone with twins knows their baby. It's not like they both sleep at the same time, eat at the same
Well,
time.
a lot of
It's
people
just
do it,
constant.
but I personally felt like I couldn't. So thank
No.
you for that. Like,
What?
thank you for selling your
My,
collection of what was it?
pre-war Tottenham Hotspur football programs.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 1911 onwards.
I don't think I really appreciated back then how important it was to me. I really didn't. I was like, what is this? What is it? Oh my God, all the football fans now are hating me, right? They're like, I cannot believe you sold that. You sold that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of people talk also about just drifting apart, right? And I think like that's the major thing, because when you're a new parent and, you know, you're so consumed by, you know, your baby and everything, and it's like you're surviving, you're like in survival mode, and also, you know, there's like all these things you need to do, and like
Hormones as
and
well.
yeah, there's hormones, but also like suddenly this routine that's like forced upon
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
right? Feed every 3 hours, sleep every whatever, and you're like obsessed with this like every 3 hours thing, you know, and that becomes your life, you know,
Yeah.
like your
Well, it
mission
kind
in
of
life
has to,
is
yeah.
to sort of feed, change, you know, whatever, and you just lose complete sight of everything else, and it's normal. That's what happens, right? But then what, you know, the result is that you kind of lose sight of your relationship as well.
Yeah, and I think I mean, again, I know you love your stats, and I'm sure that kind of wrecks a lot of relationships, marriages or whatever, that people don't realise. No, this is normal. This is what happens.
Yeah.
You go mental for
Yeah.
a year or whatever.
But you were very
the time
good at
thing
saying
was.
that to me when I was like losing my shit, and when I was being quite low about us, you know, because I feel like we had some really low, bad moments, you know, between us in our marriage since we had kids. And you kept saying that to me. You kept saying, you know, it's normal. Everybody goes through it. It's a period. It's a stage. And I didn't see it back then like that.
You kinda don't see it when
I
you're
was
in it,
worried,
but-
like, because there were
Yeah.
moments I really hated you. Like, no, really, I hated you, you know? I did. It's the truth, you know? Because I don't know, again, if moms maybe can relate to this more. For me, the kids were like, the babies, you know, they were like, you know, you suddenly you become a mom and you're like, oh my God, these are precious, more precious than anything. And you were doing everything wrong. Like everything in my mind, you know?
But I was genuinely, I found it very, very
No,
difficult.
you weren't really. You were just
Well, I
doing it
was.
differently from me.
Well,
But
I was
my
doing it
point,
different for
yeah,
you,
but my point is
but I
that
found it very difficult as
Yeah.
well. It wasn't like, I think you're very, very lucky for men or women. It comes naturally, this thing of looking after kids and knowing what you're doing. And
it didn't come naturally to me, but I still
nappies
thought I
and-
was doing it better.
What was that thing we used to swaddle them? What was that
Yeah, the
annoying thing?
swaddle.
That swaddle thing with the arms and waking the arms going up and then wake again. Oh, I hated that. And getting them to
You're
sleep.
so bad at it.
was
They always
awful.
got out
it was
of it.
like,
Oh
I
my
don't know. It was
God.
like the
Not
generation
everybody
bit.
likes swaddling, by the way. So some people are going to maybe get annoyed, but we did actually use swaddling. I have to admit, it was one of the things that was, you know, really saved us in terms of sleeping. It helped them sleep,
certain.
didn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
they
yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
move. but
you
some
do,
people
but
think
it-
it's awful.
But it's that frustration when you think you're doing things wrong because you don't think your kids are happy because they won't sleep and all that, and you don't realize when you're in it. No, this is what happens.
Yeah.
and this is everyone because everyone's
Yeah.
experience is slightly different. And it was only when our eldest was 8 months, April, August. What's that? April,
Yeah,
May,
8
June,
months.
July. No, less than that.
When?
5 months old.
Yeah.
When we went to the Edinburgh Festival, you were in a show
Oh,
in
yeah,
Edinburgh.
4 months she was.
She was 4 months
4
old.
months, yeah.
And Tova was in a show. We were both working up there, but Tova had a show that was the same time every single day. And so I was working in the mornings, coming back at a certain time, and I had X amount of hours. It was just me and her. And because it was literally just me and her, that's to me is when it sort of not clicked. That's the wrong thing to say, but it became easier.
Yeah.
It's like practice makes perfect. When
You
you're doing
had
it
to
every
just
day
do it
for
yourself
3
and-
weeks,
yeah.
4 weeks, or whatever.
Yeah,
it
for
was.
me, it helped not being there either. Like just not seeing
no,
you do it
absolutely,
and just
yeah.
come home and she was already asleep and I saw that she was alive.
Yeah, heavily sedated by me. But
And
you
then
know,
I thought,
as long
oh,
as you
okay.
get the dosage right, you can get away with it.
But the other thing is, I think another reason why we drifted apart, and I feel like a lot of couples do, is because the conversation becomes so dull.
Yeah.
But it is. Like, how many times can you talk about, like, how many times they pooped or what they
Yeah.
ate or how long they
How
slept
much
for?
did she ate?
And that is
Did you do
literally
this?
all we
Oh,
talked
God.
about for a good
Did
3
you warm the milk?
years.
Had you done
Yeah,
that? Have
do you know
you
what I mean?
bought
Like,
that?
it's
Have you
like,
bought this?
you
It's like,
know,
for
it's
God's
exciting for a little bit, but then after that, it
Oh,
really is
God.
mind numbing. So
Yeah.
I feel like that was another reason.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
and what you said, lack of sleep.
Yeah. Or the lack of, you're right, well, we haven't touched
Yeah,
on
lack of sleep.
Anyone
You're
knows
just tired
who's-
the whole
anyone
time.
who knows has had sleep problems
Yeah.
or whatever, it's just awful.
Yeah.
Not being able to think straight.
Yeah.
That thing, please fall asleep. Please. This is just talking about myself and I'm not able to. It's sleep deprivation
Yeah.
is
And getting up at night all the times they woke up. And also, I think that's another thing. Sometimes, you know, your kid wakes you up at night and you're furious, right? Because who likes being interrupted in their sleep? Nobody. But you're not going to take it out on your kid.
No.
So who are you going to take it out on?
partner.
Your partner,
Yeah.
you know?
Especially if they're happily there next to you.
And that was you,
yeah.
exactly. He doesn't even hear
Oh,
it.
I slept
By
great
the
last
way,
night.
one of the things that I think had changed my life was when I started using the
Oh, the earplugs.
earplugs.
Yeah.
You know, the earplugs, because Mike snores, but it's an extraordinary snore.
It's a gift.
Okay, it is a gift. Like if there was Olympics
It's like
for
a freight
snoring,
train. Yeah.
he would win 100%. So yes, so I got he got me like these amazing ear plugs from the Snoring Association.
Yes, they're the best. Only the best.
Apparently, there's a thing as Snoring Association, and then I couldn't hear anything. Now, secretly, I'm telling you, I could always hear the babies. But I had an
Really?
excuse to pretend like I didn't.
Your kid is the first I've heard this.
And you started getting up at nights.
Well,
as
I had
well.
to because
Yeah.
you were dead to the world, and I
Yeah,
could.
I
It's
pretended.
funny how you just tune in. It's like a frequency.
Oh
thing,
yes,
isn't it?
I totally
You just
believe
tune
that.
in.
By the way, you hear them,
just hear them.
even with earplugs for sure.
Yeah.
I hear them. I mean, they go and I hear them.
But you think when you're in it, this is never going to end. This is
Never,
gonna end.
never. Yeah,
You
I
know,
spoke to
that-
somebody today who has 2 kids and one is 2 and one is 1, and I went, "Oh my God, so you're still in
1.
the fog, huh?" And he was like, "Totally in the fog. Like I feel in fog."
Yeah, you do.
Like you're stumbling in fog, going what? Yeah.
You do. I remember when I stag do, and quite a lot of my friends, some of them, there was at least 3 or 4, already had kids who were probably 2, 3, 4, that kind of stage.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's a stag do. You're like, whatever. And I'd sort of, try to do things on the cheap because we're like, we're all going to stay in the same place and all
Yeah.
that. And the place I booked, so, some people got more money than others. I sort of went sort of mid-budget, wasn't very nice. And it was all the dads that had kids all just came in and went, no, we're here. We need to catch up on sleep. So we're going to find a nicer
all they
hotel
wanted to do.
with nicer beds that's quieter. That's what we want to do. At the time, I was like, really? And then when you become a dad and like that, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
No,
I can
for sure. All
I
you
can,
wanna do
I
is
can
just
lie
sleep.
in till 9. It's like, it's that much. I can lie
lie in.
until 9 a.m. Really? Yeah. I'm going to go to bed at 10 p.m. And just even just think about how exciting that is.
Totally.
And then in your sort of 20s, you're like, what? Why? What? But you're stag do.
But our kids also wake up really early.
They do wake up early.
They wake up early and they're very loud.
Yeah.
Very loud.
We really
children.
need to look into this. We need to get just a lock on the door. Just,
Come
just
on, they're 7 and 5,
soundproofing,
for heaven's
maybe.
sake.
Some
Sleep
kind of,
already.
Some kind of soundproof.
I know.
Panic room. I don't know. Something.
I know. Okay, but the other thing, that's good advice. Like I like where you were going. That people need to know that that is a stage, and this too shall pass. The fog does pass, ish. Lift. I mean, The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is another thing that I feel really changed, and there was a period of time that was I don't know, a real struggle for me at least, was intimacy. And everything to do with intimacy and sex and everything. I personally feel. I felt like when I became a mom, we've talked about this a million times, like I completely lost that side of me, you know? The first thing was like a complete lack of interest, you know? Like, I don't know, again.
Well, you were for a while just a milk making machine.
Yeah, exactly. You become like this,
stupid
you know.
pump things.
And I don't know about you guys, but like walking around with an adult diaper, you know, like your boobs connected to that double pump, you know, making those sounds. It's not exactly, I think, an appealing, attractive kind of, you know, image.
God, obsessed about those
for anybody
of milk and putting the date and time and freeze it.
Well, we had enough milk in there to feed a small country.
God, I know, absolutely.
I know. But my point is that I feel like a lot of women go through that phase, and for a lot of couples, it's a very difficult time. So I've heard a lot of takes on it. I've heard women who have said that they just, you know, lost their interest in sex and their partners didn't understand it. I've heard other stories of women who said that, you know, they didn't lose it, but actually their husbands looked at them differently after. Right. And I think whatever it is, there's a massive, gap that, you know, something totally changes. You know what I mean? It's like a new dynamic in your relationship. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Of course.
And I feel like for me personally, it was a massive struggle. And one of the things I did, and we'll talk in a minute about how, you know, I feel like things have changed for us in many aspects. But when it came to the intimacy and how I felt about myself and my body, because we didn't even talk about body image, you know, the changes, whatever, was really kind of finding it myself. You know, I did a lot in the past year to try and regain those parts of me. You know, like the pole dancing and just like starting to do stuff that I liked, and whether it was.
But you've got the time again now. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, totally. And I really do encourage a lot of women who write into me through the blog and whatever to do that, because, you know, it's totally, you can get it back is what I'm trying to say. Like, do you know what I mean? You can totally get it back.
But again, at the time,
you don't see it. No, 100%.
You think this is awful, what's happened, I'm changed, blah, and you don't see it. You don't, you know, that's just your reality.
Yeah, and you think you're always going to be in yoga pants and not shower. Like, I remember one day waking up and like thinking, when did I shower last? And I literally couldn't remember.
Yeah, it's quite disgusting. It's quite disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I couldn't remember. You know, I was like, I don't remember. Was it this week? And that it doesn't make you feel good about yourself. And I feel like those type of things also affect your relationship, you know, and how you are with your partner. Yeah. Was there any point where you kind of looked at me and felt like all you saw was a mom?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because that's what you were doing.
Really?
You know, when you had the sort of, with our elders as well, those extraordinary double pumps, it was the hours, it was the getting up, it was that whole thing about when you weren't sleeping.
Yeah.
You were pumping milk.
And that's another thing, by the way.
Literally all you were doing.
Wait, that's another thing that I totally forgot about, because for a while we weren't even sleeping in the same room. Because when I was co-sleeping with one of the twins, do you remember when we were still renting?
Yeah.
I co-slept with one of the twins because she wouldn't sleep through the night. It was easier for me to just have her right next to me. And you were, where were you sleeping?
I don't know.
I have no idea where you were sleeping.
I just can't remember.
You know, and that has a massive effect on a relationship. If you're not sharing a bed with your partner, or if you're sharing a bed with your partner and you have another child in the bed, which is another reality for a lot of couples, that affects intimacy a lot.
Of course.
You know? Yeah.
They keep getting in the way, don't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when and if did it change for you in general? Let's give people some hope here.
I can't remember specific, that's this day or whatever. I can't remember.
No?
It just slowly just changes and goes back to, I wouldn't say goes back to normal.
No.
Because it never goes back to how it was.
Because they're always there.
It's different. It's just, you just have a different reality. You know, you hear people sort of going,
I know exactly
I wish you want to, go back. We used to do this and that. But it changes because you've got kids now and they take up so much time. So I don't know. I've got certain friends who've never had kids, never wanted kids, and it's great. You see them on social media here at this market, and we're flown here for the weekend. Lovely, great. When you got kids were young, you can't do it.
Yeah.
You didn't even think about doing it.
But I know exactly when
really?
it started changing
Go on.
for me was on my 40th when we went to Vegas.
Oh, Vegas, baby.
Vegas,
yes, I
baby.
forgot about Vegas.
Yeah. So listen, you guys,
That was funny.
Well,
great.
I'm all about bucket lists, and we have a whole episode about bucket lists
we
coming
do?
up real soon. Yeah, but one of my bucket lists of all times was to go to Vegas.
Because you'd never been.
And I'd never been, right? And you had been before,
Couple
right?
of times,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I thought, do you know what? For my 40th, it would be a great opportunity to do it. We booked this
year in advance?
a year in advance, got like a great deal, right? It was super cheap, and like paid for it and totally forgot about it, right?
Yeah.
And then my 40th came, and suddenly it was, oh my God, we're going to Vegas for 5 nights.
But also, just also, people don't
Yeah.
know, Tove was not so bad now. Tove had a real fear of flying.
Yeah,
so
that
it wasn't
too.
just like getting on a flight.
Yeah.
You had to have a fear of flying course.
Yeah, but
have
wait,
a bag full of
but that's
drugs
not
to get you
point
through the
of this-
flight.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but that was the whole build
Yeah.
up to going as
Yes,
well.
but the point of it was that it was the first time we had gone away without the
Oh,
kids
yeah.
in
Ever.
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. We had been
Yeah.
parents for 5 years approximately, and we had never gone away, never done anything alone without the children. And it was a massive big deal for us.
Yeah.
And so the build up before almost didn't go. Like, forget the fact that we nearly
Yes, yeah.
lost the flight and whatever. That's like beside the point. But the point is, there were moments where I went, let's just not go. Because you're so scared, right, of leaving your kids and doing
It's a long
that,
way
and
away
it's a
from
long
London
way
as
away.
well.
And
It's
what
not
if I
around the
miss
corner.
them? And it's a massive thing. You know, I think it's a really big thing for parents to do things without their children, you know, like to start doing things without their children. Anyway, long story short, the moment we got on that flight,
Eventually.
and it was really
Because
eventually.
there's if you're flying from the UK to America, you don't need a visa anymore, but you still need to fill out a certain form. What's the point? You must just get a visa. So there's no visa, but you still got to fill out a form like a visa,
Which we didn't know.
And we were so tired.
Yeah.
We were just like, we're going. I don't
Showed
need a
up.
visa. Forgot. And we showed up, and they said, "Where's your ESTA form?" We said, "Like what? Well, you need an ESTA form." And it was that thing when you're in an airport, you try and get Wi-Fi, and it's rubbish, and you pay for something, and it doesn't work. And your one went through, and mine's didn't. And these people helped me, and the flight was about to close, and it wouldn't work, and I was rejected. It was like this new system as well, and they're like, "You've missed a flight," and
missed
I've
your
never
flight.
wanted just to collapse on the floor and cry. I was like, I don't believe this. After all this, we're not going. Thank God we managed to get on the flight next day.
Yeah, let's give them a shout out because Virgin Atlantic.
Virgin Atlantic,
I
which
mean,
absolutely
absolutely
tremendous.
amazing.
They really were.
They were.
But the funny thing was, I'd obviously planned all the trips, so I'd worked out. First night, jet lag, we're going nowhere. Second night, we're going to see, was it Love, the Beatles musical? But now night two
Britney Spears the
night
next
two
day.
became night one. So the night we arrived, we got tickets and. Well, I mean, literally sat down and the band played and I was out.
Basically slept through all the shows we went to. Yeah.
Couldn't really enjoy the meals too times. Really jet lagged. But
Really
anyway,
jet lagged.
But the point was we had an amazing time.
The point was that as soon as
did
we
the
got
Elvis
on the
Chapel,
flight,
remarried,
we did.
renewed our vows.
Yeah.
One of those great tacky Elvis chapels,
Yeah.
which is great fun.
Yeah, but for me, again, the biggest thing about that trip was, it was actually shocking to me how quickly we were able to sort of switch off and forget we had children.
But also time-wise,
because you were
you
so
couldn't-
far away.
and also
yeah,
time-wise,
time-wise
it
was
didn't
brilliant.
work out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were asleep when we were awake. We were, in the other way around. So you sort of like,
Nothing you could do.
nothing you could do. But it was actually the first time in 5 years that we were able to spend
Yeah.
that much time together
It's true.
alone.
And not talk
And
about the kids.
suddenly you realize, I kind of
Yeah, she's all right.
kind of like that guy.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he's
yeah.
okay, I remember
true.
now, yeah.
Very
And for
true.
me, that was the first step. And after that, again, I feel like there were a lot of ups and downs
Yeah,
and
but we
whatever.
were- yeah.
But it was suddenly came back to my sort of the back of my mind that actually when we're not tired, when we're not stressed, when they're not 3 kids shouting and demanding and wanting our attention, then actually we kind of like each other and we kind of like each other's company. And it was a great reminder,
was.
And I remember when we came back, we sort of said, we have to do these things more. We, I by the way, haven't since. Just to point that out. We haven't. But we have done like one night away,
Yeah.
sort of like in the UK and stuff.
Yeah,
We've done.
we should plan. We must plan.
But yeah, I feel like that's one of the key things. A lot of people, when I talk about this on the blog, say, yeah, date night and whatever. It's not easy to plan, it's not easy to do these things. But I feel like they're so important,
Absolutely.
when you do kind of like manage to get away.
For your own sanity.
Yeah, totally. And then the other biggest thing, I think, is just the fact that the kids, they don't stay baby forever. And once they learn how to wipe their butts, that is a massive milestone.
A big difference.
That is like a day to
very
celebrate,
true. It is true.
In your relationship, I feel like that's a day to celebrate.
I never thought about it like that.
Oh my God.
They can go to the toilet by themselves.
And now, like, when they sometimes ask me to wipe their butts, I'm like, no, wipe your own bloody
you're
butt.
18. Right?
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
I don't ask you to wipe my butt. I don't want to wipe your butt. Your poo is massive.
Yeah.
It's not cute anymore. So that's basically my those two moments. So what would you say, giving people advice? I know we don't give advice. I love how every episode I say we don't give advice, but let's give advice. So what advice would you give anyone who's going through this type of or are still in the fog and still in that kind of like
touched on it. If you've got any opportunity to get any kind of help, take it. Absolutely take it. Even if it's just for half a day or whatever. Do it. Go and do things together. Catch up on more sleep. Whatever you can do. You need it. And I think people feel guilty, like, I can't do that.
Yes.
I can't. My kids, I want people to know that I don't want to do this. No, take it. No, you shouldn't think like that at all.
No.
I think that's probably the key thing.
Yeah. I mean, I would say to people, be 100% sure that everybody's in the same boat. And I don't know why it does encourage people knowing that everybody is suffering just as much as they are. I don't know why. It's human nature, but it's true. Everybody is going through the exact same thing.
But again, going back to good old social media, I think that doesn't help things when you see pictures, these sort of faked pictures of people having wonderful times with their kids and all's good. And if you're at home surrounded by dirty nappies and sleep deprivation, you look at that stuff and going, "There must be something wrong with me."
Yeah,
I kind of felt like that. What's going on? There's something wrong with me. Something with my partner. We're doing things wrong.
Yeah,
and I think all that really doesn't help.
Yeah,
doesn't help at all.
And again, going back to everybody's going through it, and linking it to what you just said, it's true. Because a lot of the times I hear people say, "Oh, but so-and-so, they're so happy." But then if you sit down with so-and-so and talk to them, then you realize they've got stuff. Everybody does. Like, I don't feel like any couple, anyone has like a perfect relationship, whatever that means. Everybody gets on each other's nerves. The whole concept of being together with one person is a very challenging thing. And when you throw into it children, especially young children, and financial strains that come with having, family, et cetera, then obviously people are going to have clashes.
But you also get used to it with time.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of partners with kids are like a really good wrestling tag team.
Yeah.
That without even saying anything, you kind of know when your partner's about to go ape shit.
Like on Saturday.
And you know when to come in and go, I'll do this, I'll take that. You know when that person needs my help.
Yeah, and you just stood there, couldn't understand, and I'm literally red like a tomato. No, we need to be there. Oh, God, I literally lost my shit. I couldn't take it. I was like, there's no way I can deal with this right now. You know, but spending time, and I think also like doing stuff for yourself. So going back just to hobbies, means that you have other things to talk about. Because for me, I just couldn't bear it. And this, by the way, that links into like friends as well. Couldn't stand just having the same old conversations about the same old stuff.
But also because if your kids are toddlers and going to nursery and all that, you are mixing with other adults who've got kids the same age. So it's even worse.
Yeah.
How are you? They're telling your story. You're reciprocating your story. And I've sat at many of these parties just going, can't we talk about music or something, anything else?
But nobody's doing anything else.
No one does.
The issue.
And everyone's too tired to even think about these things. And all you're doing is talking about your bloody kids and just that's it. So I can see from outsiders going, oh, God, I don't want to be that person. But it's easy to become that person.
Yeah, I feel like I wonder how many people are going to send in like saying, God, you guys really don't like your kids. Aren't you scared that your kids are going to listen to this when they're older? And today somebody was like, when they finally told us that the school was open and everybody was really happy, somebody actually said, I feel really guilty. And I was like, why are you feeling guilty? Like, there's nothing to feel guilty about. Like, you love your kids. Nobody thinks you don't love your kids just because you want them to go to school, so you can go to work or do whatever. So yeah. Anyway,
That was
good. Hopefully this was helpful or not. Maybe not. Let us know if it was helpful. Yeah. Do you want to say anything else?
Not really.
No.
I think we wrap that one up.
Can you remind people what they need to do?
They need to, if you're listening to this on iTunes, click subscribe, which means you'll automatically get the next episode. And leave a review, a nice review. That helps.
Do you know we've had some really nice reviews?
Have we?
Yes.
I haven't looked at it yet.
Why?
I haven't even listened
Why
back to
don't you
them.
even look? We've had like some really nice reviews.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
I'll check it out.
And by the way, we're ranking like number 250 on like
really?
comedy, whatever.
Really?
There's like 250
This is on
shows,
the
by the way,
comedy?
in that category.
I get done by the Trace Description Act. Do I get sued? This is comedy? This is more sort of self-help, family, lifestyle. Why the hell have you put this under comedy? We're up against Ricky Gervais?
Yes, we are. No, I don't know. Potentially we need to look into that. But thank you so much for your reviews. I really need to find out how many shows are in that category. I'm really interested. But anyway, help us reach like what? Would you be happy if we were like 1 out of 100, first 100 shows in comedy? That'd be good, right?
Yeah,
Let's aim for that, people. Okay. So
Very
more
nice.
reviews, subscribe. You can also catch us on Spotify. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure to click follow.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you don't subscribe, you follow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
Fantastic.
Okay, then.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much for listening. Wherever you are around the world, have a wonderful day, evening, morning. And
we'll see you next week.
See you next time.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.